Oke. Jadi ada sistemnya ternyata yang untuk menjamin lagi-lagi kualitas dari produk gitu Pak ya?
Iya, betul. Karena tanggung jawab produk adalah tanggung jawab dari kita semua.
Ya Pak, terima kasih banyak nih sudah dijelaskan cukup banyak dan kita masih akan lanjut keliling-keliling lagi. Tapi sebelumnya pemirsa, kita akan ketemu lagi di Hangout with Anyten dalam episode berikutnya bersama saya Fajar Wayong. Terima kasih, sampai jumpa.
Yuk.
After President Joko Widodo confirmed
extends PPKM level 4. First half of the year, Indofarma posted 90% revenue growth. Mas. Hello, good evening viewers. Market Headlines is ready to provide you a number of informations from business, economic, and capital market sector. And as the pandemic is still going on, we will provide you the latest COVID-19 information, so please stay safe by taking some simple precautions such as physical distancing, wearing a mask, avoiding crowds, cleaning your hands, and having less mobility. With Bikla Wijaya, and this is Market Headlines. Public policy observers welcome the government's move to extend the PPKM level 4 in some number of areas, especially Bali and Java. And this is in such a way to reduce the high number of COVID-19 cases.
After President Joko Widodo confirmed to extend the period of COVID-19 restrictions level 4 in number of regions in Java and Bali, public policy observers Wijayanto Samarin expressed his support.
PPKM merupakan salah satu senjata yang ampuh gitu ya untuk menekan jumlah positif maupun jumlah meninggal.
Although the implementations of regional PPKM and PPKM level 4 was considered late, but it showed good results, where the number of COVID-19 active cases in the country have started to decline. However, he reminded the government to be careful and not in a hurry to loosen the current restriction.
Penerapan PPKM ini agak terlambat. Jadi ketika angka sudah naik baru diterapkan. Nah, dalam konteks ini memang kita harus selalu ahead of the curve. Jadi sebelum naik kita harus sudah mengantisipasi.
Although it has an impact on the economy, especially national economic growth, Wijayanto reminded the government to provide social assistance, especially the provisions of cash assistance to increase people's purchasing power. Currently, government has poured a budget of 744 trillion rupiah. From Jakarta, Adi Firmansyah, IDX Channel.
The Indonesian Retailers Association stated that there are currently 2,000 retail stores shut down during the pandemic.
The Indonesian Retailers Association, or APRindo, ensures to support all government steps in handling COVID-19 pandemic. But still, it cannot be denied the fact that the policy hurts retailers. The association hopes that all retailer outlets, both large and small in the country, can operate full-time or optimally without restriction, because he assessed that the retail sector has implemented health protocols properly, especially when it comes to shopping malls. Chairman of APRindo, Roy Monday, stated that COVID-19 restriction has made retail sales drop. It hits 45% currently. Around 2,000 retail outlets in the country were forced to go out of business because they were unable to survive.
Nah, otomatis dengan penutupan gerai yang terjadi, ya, yang tidak hanya oleh salah satu retail yang baru kemarin menutup gerainya seluruh hypermarketnya, tapi sudah ada hampir sekitar 2.000 toko atau gerai yang ditutup semenjak awal pandemik, itu jelas akan mengurangi potensi atas perdagangan UMKM maupun juga supplier manufaktur makanan dan minuman di sektor hulu kepada masyarakat. Karena satu-satunya channel untuk menjualkan produk dan barang ya tentunya selain online yang saat ini memang jumlahnya tidak terlalu signifikan walaupun peningkatannya meningkat, tetapi juga melalui offline.
For example, previously, retail company Hero Supermarket officially closed all outlets starting August 1st permanently due to COVID-19 pandemic. Jakarta, Adi Firmansyah, IDX Channel.
President Joko Widodo officially announced the extension of restrictions on community activities, or PPKM level 4. The president said the extension would be carried out until August 9th, 2021. In his statement, Jokowi ensures that the government's decisions on PPKM level 4 has considered as the latest indicator. Furthermore, he ensured that PPKM level 4 will apply in certain districts or cities. For information, PPKM level 4 is an extension of emergency PPKM, which was implemented from July 3rd until July 20th, 2021.
PPKM level 4 yang diberlakukan tanggal 26 Juli sampai dengan 2 Agustus kemarin telah membawa perbaikan di skala nasional dibandingkan sebelumnya, baik dalam hal konfirmasi kasus harian, tingkat kasus aktif, tingkat kesembuhan, dan persentase bor. Oleh karena itu, dengan mempertimbangkan perkembangan beberapa indikator kasus pada minggu ini, pemerintah memutuskan untuk melanjutkan penerapan PPKM level 4 dari tanggal 3 sampai dengan 9 Agustus 2021 di beberapa kabupaten kota tertentu.
Now moving on to the global update, both Pfizer and Moderna have increased the prices of their COVID-19 vaccines and their latest supply contracts to the European Union. And the S&P 500 neared a record high on Monday as $1 trillion infrastructure bill lifted the sentiment. More stories on today's International Minute.
Both Pfizer and Moderna have increased the prices of their COVID-19 vaccines in their latest supply contracts to the European Union. Each Pfizer and BioNTech vaccine dose will now be €19.5, a 25% increase from €15.5 previous price, and that's going about $18.4 to $23. Similarly, each dose of the Moderna vaccine will now be $25.5, which is around €25 and about a 13% increase from the prior €19 prices from the first procurement deal. However, orders for the Moderna COVID-19 vaccine orders that have been since is significantly larger than originally anticipated. This is a large part because parts of the European public have become more skeptical about the AstraZeneca and Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccines as options after serious blood clotting concerns emerged. The S&P 500 index neared a record high on Monday as a $1 trillion infrastructure bill and strong second quarter corporate earnings lifted sentiment ahead of the launch of the macroeconomic data this week. Trillions of dollars in stimulus have lifted the Wall Street to record high following the coronavirus-driven crash last year. While upbeat of the second quarter corporate earnings led the S&P 500 to its sixth monthly gain in a row in July, despite the growing threat from the Delta variant of the coronavirus. Cybersecurity startup has been getting a big investments in the past year with a sharp rise in the high-profile cyber attacks. Nozomi Networks, a San Francisco-based industrial cybersecurity startup, said on Monday it raised about $100 million from its customer and technology partners to help build new products and expand sales. Nozomi Networks specialize in the protecting critical infrastructure such as oil, gas, water, as well as manufacturing facilities. Zoom Video Communications Incorporated agreed to pay $85 million and bolster its security practices to settle with a lawsuit claiming it's violated users' privacy right by sharing personal data with Facebook, Google, and LinkedIn, and letting hackers disrupt Zoom meeting and a practice called Zoom bombing. Subscriber in the proposed class action will be eligible for 15% refunds on their core subscriptions of $25, which is larger, while others could receive up to $15. IDX Channel reported.
Market headlines will be right back after this quick break. Stay tuned.
Pemerintah Indonesia melalui Kementerian Koordinator Bidang Perekonomian Erlangga Hartarto menyiapkan sejumlah cara untuk meningkatkan peran UMKM di pasar internasional.
Jaga tren ini dan memacu peningkatan ekspor, termasuk mendorong penciptaan eksportir baru dari kalangan pelaku usaha menengah kecil dan mikro.
Pemerintah akan mempercepat realisasi bansos dengan memberikan bansos selama 3 bulan ke depan.
Pemerintah semakin percaya diri mampu merealisasikan ekspektasi pertumbuhan yang tinggi.
Kita lihat dari PMI market, kita sudah mencapai yang tertinggi.
Kementerian Keuangan memastikan tidak akan mengenakan PPN pada barang kebutuhan pokok.
Berbeda ketika sembako ini sifatnya premium.
Pemerintah kembali memutuskan untuk memperpanjang pemberlakuan pembatasan kegiatan masyarakat atau PPKM skala mikro.
Welcome back to Market Headline. Health Minister Budi Gunadi Sadikin stated that vaccination has been shown to reduce COVID-19 patients' mortality in hospitals. Health Minister Budi Gunadi Sadikin emphasized that vaccination was not the cause of the death of COVID-19 patients. In fact, vaccination has been shown to reduce patient mortality in hospitals. Based on the data from the Ministry of Health obtained from RSCM, Minister Budi said that it is sufficient to describe how the role of the COVID-19 vaccine can reduce the death rate of the COVID-19 patients. RSCM data shows that in 53 COVID-19 patients who were vaccinated with the first dose, one patient died. Then in the 78 COVID-19 patients who had been vaccinated with 2 doses, there were no cases of death among them. The Jakarta and West Java provincial governments also reported the same thing. According to the Minister of Health, the 2 provinces reported that the number of COVID-19 patients who were hospitalized and had been vaccinated had a very small death compared to the COVID-19 patients who had not been vaccinated. IDX Channel reports. One of the main keys in this pandemic is the handling of COVID-19 patients and vaccinations, which of course are indicators of the country's resilience of the COVID-19. With the various obstacles and problems that exist, which countries record the lowest COVID-19 resilience score? The data is in the next graphic. As you can see through your screen, we can see that Indonesia is one of the lowest COVID-19 resiliency. First of all, Indonesia got the score of 40.2, and next Malaysia by the score of 42.5, and below that there are South Africa, Argentina, and Philippines, and respectively 43.9, and then Argentina by 44.2, and then Philippines by 45.5. And the Bloomberg report shows that Indonesia's COVID-19 resilience score has fallen into the tail of the end of the rankings. Its positions is down for 4 places from the previous report. And there are several things to note, that such as the high death rate due to the COVID-19. Not to mention the issue of vaccine supply that does not meet the demand. Yes, speaking of vaccines, interestingly, a number of female scientists have played an important role in the development of the COVID-19 vaccine. Some of them even became the initiator and leaders of the research project. Who are they? Let's take a look at their profiles one by one. First thing first, we got Sarah Gilbert. Sarah Gilbert is one of the female scientists behind the COVID-19 vaccine. And she is Oxford and AstraZeneca vaccines research leader, whereas one of the earliest vaccines to emerge during the pandemic, and continued development of universal flu vaccine. And then she also released vaccine patents for lower prices, thanks to the Sarah Gilbert against all this type of influenza virus clinical trials since 2011. The AstraZeneca vaccine was one of the earliest to arrive in the pandemic. The data from the British Centre for Public Health says that the AstraZeneca vaccine is 60% to 66% effective for the first dose, while for the second dose, the figure rose to 81%. This effectiveness reached around 92% from reducing hospitalized patients after 2 doses. The AstraZeneca vaccine is also the cheapest vaccine compared to similar vaccines. This is inseparable from the inventor's decisions to release his patent. Sarah Gilbert chose humanity over the gains she could get. From Sarah Gilbert's Let's move on to the next scientist. Here we see the Katalin Kariko. Through your screen, we can see the biography about Katalin Kariko as one of the female scientists behind the COVID-19 vaccine. So she is a mRNA technology developer used in Pfizer and BioNTech and Moderna vaccine, and the technology is potentially effective on other drugs and vaccines. The whole patent since 2013 with Drew Weissman. When the COVID-19 hit at the beginning of 2020, BioNTech and Karika switched into overdrive to develop the elements necessary for the vaccine based on their mRNA biology. And after months of work, Karika commented how she received a call saying that the vaccine had worked. She wasn't all that surprised, but then on December 2020, she got the BioNTech vaccine that she had hand in the developing, and when she went outside, healthcare workers who were also getting their vaccines started clapping for her work. And what a moment for her. Not only Sarah and Kariko, there is other female scientists who also play a role in the development of COVID-19 vaccine. The information is in the next graphic. And here it is through your screen. We can see Hanneke Schrichmaker. So Hanneke is a Johnson & Johnson heads of vaccine development. And then based on the Ebola and HIV vaccine development techniques. And the COVID-19 vaccine is only given one dose. The developed HIV vaccine since 1989, estimated use in 2021. Very marvelous. And from the FDA website, the effectiveness of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine reached around 67% in preventing moderate to severe or critical COVID-19 disease after 14 days of receiving the vaccine. The figure drops into 66% for moderate to severe or critical illness. Such success of this vaccine did not escape from the people behind its development. Hanneke Schrichmaker, a virologist from Netherlands, the 57-year-old woman served a global head of viral vaccine discovery and transitional medicine at the Johnson & Johnson's and Johnson Vaccine and Prevention. She also is a professor of virology at the University of Amsterdam. She participated in the development of universal flu vaccines, or HIV, respiratory syncytial virus vaccines, and most recently, the COVID-19 vaccine. So viewers, hopefully the presence of the vaccines and the accelerations of vaccinations can speed up ending of the COVID-19 pandemic so that we can return to normal life as before. Stay with us because market headlines will be right back after this quick break.
Jangan biarkan kota ini mati. Kita hanya diminta berhenti sejenak. Demi kehidupan, kita bisa lalui pandemi ini bersama. Patuhi protokol kesehatan 3M. Semua wajib pakai masker. Awali hari Anda dengan beragam informasi bisnis terkini yang kami kemas dalam berita teraktual dan berkualitas. News Screen Morning menyajikan informasi ekonomi, bisnis, dan keuangan. News Screen Evening mengulas seputar ekonomi makro dan mikro, fiskal, moneter, dan sektorial Indonesia. Market Headline menayangkan berita ekonomi dan bisnis dalam bahasa Inggris.
Indonesia
Saksikan program-program berita ekonomi dan bisnis terkini langsung dari sumbernya, live hanya di IDX Channel. Your Trustworthy Economic, Business, and Capital Market Channel. Nantikan Anugerah Inovasi Indonesia 2021. Segera.
Welcome back to Market Headlines. So viewers, let's take a look at Jakarta Composite Index entering the movement. So earlier today, JCI was open at a level of 6,108.00, and approaching the closing time for the first session, the index was on the level of 6,134.43. And the index was showing strengthening trend by the second session closing time. The index was closed at a level of 6,130.57. In short, JCI went up 0.56%. Next, we're going to see the sectoral movement. Leading the dynamics of today's trading, we got transportations and logistics as the leader of the strengthening trend that went up 1.68%. We got industry that went up 1.36%. Next, we got energy as the leader of the weakening trend that went down 0.4%, and property that went down 0.28%. Moving on to the top gainers and the top losers, here are the key highlights from today's trading sessions. We got BABP that went up 9.5% to the level of 484 rupiah per share. We got BBCA that went up 3.1% to the level of 30,725 rupiah per share. We got BBYB that went up 19.75% to the level of 970 rupiah per share, and FRAN that went up 3.18% to the level of 162 rupiah per share. Meantime, for the top losers for today's trading sessions, we got Arto that went down 2.58%. We got TBIG that went down 0.31%. We got Aneka Tambang that went down 1.59%, and Zinc that went down 5.63%. Next, we're going to see the intraday movement of rupiah towards US dollar. So rupiah opened at the level of 14,456. Rupiah was also showing strengthening trend towards US dollar. I was closed at the level of 14,436. In summary, rupiah went up 0.77%. Indofarma managed to record a positive performance in the first semester of 2021. The company's revenue grew by 90% year-on-year to 849.32 billion rupiah.
Thanks to a business strategy that is running smoothly, Indofarma managed to record a positive performance in the first semester of 2021, and this was reflected in the revenue growing 90% year-on-year to 849.32 billion rupiah. According to the President Director of Indofarma, Arif Pramohanto, this year Indofarma continues to try to seize the opportunities that exist in order to achieve sustainable business growth. This opportunity can be realized by implementing a turnaround management policy, which has actually been carried out since last year. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Indofarma was agile in launching medicinal products and medical devices related to the COVID-19 pandemic. For example, in the pharmaceutical segment, Indofarma launched oseltamivir, ivermectin, Desrem, and zinc kit product. IDX Channel report.
Now, aside from market conditions, as coronavirus pandemic takes big role on current economic situation, here it is an update data about coronavirus globally. And the news close of market headlines today. Please enjoy our next program on IDX Channel, the Trustworthy Economic Business and Capital Market Channel. And as the COVID-19 pandemic is still going on, keep protecting your family by following the health protocols, wearing face masks, keep your distance, and stay away from crowds, washing your hands through running water. And also continue to support the vaccinations program to accelerate the creation of herd immunity. I'm Claranta Wijaya, signing off. Stay safe.
kan baru dari airport, langsung saya ke Gianyar. Gianyar ini jadi pusat kuliner Bali ya, lebih banyak variasi hidangan Bali di sini. Nah sekarang kita berada di depan pasar umum Gianyar, di mana kalau sore hari itu sudah mulai banyak pedagang gerobak ataupun kaki lima yang jual makanan khas Bali. Kalau di luar ini lebih ke makanan, nanti di dalam itu lebih ke jajanan tradisional yang kecil-kecil ya, khas Bali. Nah sini kita lihat ada ayam betutu ya, dan yang ini nih, ini spesial banget. Dan kalau kita lihat di sini ada tulisannya nasi selo, tulisannya sela tapi bacanya selo. Nah itu adalah nasi khas Bali yang dicampur dengan ubi ya. Jadi ada ubi-ubinya sedikit. Nah tuh ada yang kuning-kuning itu seperti ubinya tuh. Ya. Beli, ampun, niki napi beli.
Ini ayam biasanya disebut dengan ayam pepes Bali.
Ayam pepes Bali.
Pepes.
Nah.
Ini ayam betutu.
Ini ayam betutu.
Nanti kita olah yang keduanya dengan daun pisang dicampur dengan bumbu. Nanti kita